Good morning, everyone. I'm Dan with Dano's Trains. Just a little bit of an update on what I'm doing here today. I've been doing a little bit work in the background over here, south side of the room. Over here this morning, let's see if I can get you in here. I did some work around here. I filled all this in with grass, all this here turf. Painted around the lake, the brown. I laid this track section in here. So I'm just toying around with what I've got. Let's see if I can get it. The waterfall down here, I put some of this product on it. My wife is a crafter, and she gave me this here today. It's a gloss medium used normally for painting. I'm trying it on the waterfall in the corner to see if I can get a gloss. It says it's supposed to be gloss. I can see a bit of a sheen on it now, but I'm going to put 2 or 3 coats on it, and then I'm going to go over it with a bit of white to show the ripples going down the hill. As you can see in the far side over here, I'll see if I can. Can I do this? No, I cannot. Okay. I made the bridge, the tunnel opening out of foam, and I carved it a bit, and then I painted it, and of course I blended it into the corner of that front face of the mountain, which you'd probably see in my other videos. The track layout has changed. I'm going to see if I can rotate you here. Here, we're going to go this way. So the tracks are going to come out of that tunnel, as you can see. They're going to travel down, all the way down this 8-foot stretch. It's going to come around that corner there. That's a HO Western wood kit I put together. I have 3 more on order coming in. So the track's going to go across here. Now I put this little gap in here this morning to tie these 2 tables together. Remember I was mentioning I was going to jump across onto this other layout over here, which runs approximately 13 feet, a 13-foot run. I'm using it as a work table here right now, excuse me. And it's going to run down this line here. Main line's going to go all the way down this table. Now I got to bridge this over here, in here. I got to bridge this. Now I'm not sure if I actually want to build a bridge and build a trestle going across there, or I'm just going to fill it up with another piece of plywood and foam. That's almost 7-foot jump there. I would like to put a bridge in there just to add that little extra contrast, but whichever is easier. And then down here is where I took this module out, and the track starts here, or it starts here and continues down. Now I've decided to do a double main line, 2 separate lines with 2 controllers, so I can run trains the opposite way. Yes, now as we go down here, we went over this last week in the far corner. There's work to be done back there too. My little mansion is done. There's a bypass track, bypass here, homemade bypass. Cato sells a kit for that, but I didn't want to spend the $200 with change for the kit. So I just made my own with 2 60-degree switches. It goes around that far corner in the middle of the wall back there and then shoots across. So there you go. You got a total 360-degree view on my bucket here without actually lifting the camera up. Okay, so I'm going to move you back a little bit without lifting you up. I got a bunch of stuff in the way here. Let's see if I can get this in here. Okay, we kind of got it going here. So this track here, as far as I know, will come around here down and then down the edge of this table to the back, then take a right-hand turn across that new section that ties the other side in, and I'm going to run a double track independent of the other track. So, yeah, I've been just a little bit busy this morning. I'm waiting for some static grass to come in. I believe I mentioned that my last video. It hasn't arrived yet. I don't know too much about it. It's a 6-pack, and it's 6 different colors, from dark green to very bright green. I'm hoping it's going to be hopefully at least 5 mil or better. The description on the order wasn't too clear, but it is static grass, and you get 6 different cups of grass. Now, I laid a few tufts in here. You can see them. You see these little spots here? These tufts I made about 7 years ago, somewhere there, where I took a steel pan and I put wax paper in there, and I electrified it with the static machine I made, which runs off 12 volts battery. And I put spots all over the place. And then I went over it with my static grass. I think I used 6 mil. Yeah, I used 6 mil grass on that, and I made these little tufts. And they're kind of neat. They're all over the place here. This will be a brighter yellow-green in here. It's wet right now, so it's a little dark. I tried something different in here. You can see it's a little darker right now. I kind of lumped it in there instead of making it smooth like this, and then I glued it down, and hopefully when it dries, it's gonna be a little brighter, and I hope it just stays that way. It's kind of lumpy looking, so it sort of gives a 3D effect here. I'm waiting on pouring the river. I'm gonna wait a little longer before that. I got a product for that too. Is it here? It's not here. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get it to show it to you anyway. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. It is not where I left it. Anyway, yeah. Wow. It's not where I left it. That's embarrassing. Okay, It's a Scenics product, and it's, I think it's called Murky. It's like a murky green. It's not totally transparent, and it's kind of more on the blue side, kind of like that river coming down that hill. See the blue? It's sort of like that color, and I think it'll look pretty good after it's poured in there. And then, of course, as I mentioned, where that bridge is back there, there's a little lake going through there, and I'll be using that same product to produce this blue. What I originally wanted to do, I tried that on here. This is supposed to be a waterfall, and it goes, I was going to try it somewhere in here. Then I took a second glance at it, and I'm going to wait. But that's kind of the blue. You see that? It's going to be a nice sea blue, I guess. Murky sea blue. Just to give you an idea of what I'm doing here, I'm not taking this railroad off of any specific railroad in Canada. I'm in a small town here called Devon in Alberta, and I think I only see one rail at the north side of Edmonton. They'll cross the road once in a while, and they'll stop you, and we'll watch the train go by till you can get through. So I am just basically doing my own thing. The track layout is my own thing. I'm not copying anything that, in real life. I don't know enough about that kind of thing. But I do like to run trains. And regardless, I think if you're actually copying a real life layout, or just doing what I'm doing and just trying to make use a little bit of artistry to build a railroad, and that's the route I'm taking. Yeah. So obviously this mountain is my doing. It doesn't exist, right? That's what I'm saying. Next Saturday, I'll be picking up some foam to cover this table, that table, the table behind me, the balance, and the piece going across. I'm also planning to pick up more track so I can get this connected again, so I can run the trains. Right now I've got a 7.5 foot gap here because I realigned the track so I can get a visual of what I want to do there. And I got a 6-inch space over here. Everything's always in the way. This space here is 6 inches wide. It runs for about 6.5 feet. And what I was planning to do there is carve some foam rock, like I did at the tunnel here. This tunnel actually looks better than the first one I did. I've never carved foam before. Once you get the knack of it, the only difference is now is to turn around and paint it so it looks like stone or brick. So this one turned out really good. This one here is nice, but it's not the same. So I'm getting a little better at it. Yeah, so Saturday I'll have, next Saturday I'll have some improvements. It's been a slow week, other obligations, but I'm pushing for this. I'm waiting for, I'm going to show you this little guy. Now this little guy here is HO size. It's obviously a bank. Now all of this, you see I did a little bit of weathering on there, stained the whole thing. It was nice white wood, but like that. But I didn't look right, so I stained it. I haven't painted the inside, you'll never see it. What I'll end up doing later on when I get my HO stuff going is I'm going to just drill a hole in the bottom here and stick a little light in there, and it'll light up the whole inside, because there's a floor in there, but I'll figure out something. But these are pretty cool. This was $19. I'm not afraid to mention what I paid for it, and it actually literally snaps together. You can see it here and here. They snap right in. Now the only thing about these things is that the part that stands up, you got to trim them a bit on an angle so the other piece could fit over it. But it's a really nice little kit for 19 bucks. The other ones I ordered were on special. They were less than $17 each. There's 3 of them. I think it's a church I got, another building, and a hotel. So these will be placed around the module when I lay the HO track around the top here. I'm not going crazy buying buildings. I just buy the odd one and throw it together. I just thought I'd try this wood type. I like it. It's nice. I mean, it looks okay. I think it looks okay. Painted the windows, the window frames. Now, they don't give you plastic to make windows out of it. So the next kit I have, I got extra plastic, and I can glue it in the back to make it look like there's glass in there. So I am improving a little bit at a time. Another thing I got here. This track here is a lead that would plug into your controller and supply 12 volts around the track. Now, these are expensive. They're what did I see them? They were $17. I think for 2 or for 1. Something in there. Very expensive. So what I'm doing is I'm taking wire and I'm soldering the leads off of the couplers. I don't know if you could see that. Oh my gosh, they're so small. Coupler there. So I'm going to pull that out of there, and I solder a wire in behind it. And, 6 or 7 or 8 inches long, depending where I'm going to put my bus line in. And then you can take it and put the wire back through here and snap this back in place. And then I'll have power leads running off instead of buying a bunch of these, which also add to the length to your track by about almost 3 inches. So even though you get one of these when you get a starter kit, you got to get smart fast just to save some bucks. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up some wire and take these apart, solder the leads in, slip the wire back in, pull it tight, and then slowly put them along the line for, just to connect to my bus line. That will give me power about every 3 feet, which is, I believe, is what's recommended. And from when I've been running here, the train makes it all the way around here, but you can see in some spots it slows down, then it creeps up and then starts again as it comes around again. So, yeah. Oh, look at this, a new toy. I'm buying this one piece at a time. This is a signal light controller. You can put 3 signals on here, as you can see. 1, 2, 3. This here plugs into another box that plugs into the side of the controller that gives this 12 volts. And every time your train will pass these signals, they will go from green to red if you have it in an intersection or something. So I kind of bought it by accident because I thought it was something else, but that's okay. A little bit here and a little bit there. So sooner or later, I'll probably end up with signals on the layout. What's my newest purchase? Oh, get this. Now, I saw this, and unfortunately, I had to go to Amazon because my supplier doesn't carry everything in Kato. Just the main things like the 9 3/4 track lengths, some curves, I think 11 radius and stuff like that. So this unit here, I picked up on Amazon, and I'll show it to you here. It comes with a feed, right? And it attaches to a controller, which I do not have at this time, but I just had to have this. You see that? It splits into 2, so you can go left or you can go right. So now I can run 2 lines off of this. The outside main line will run into this and split into 2, and I can choose to either go into the rolling stock yard, the spurs I'll be having on the stable over here, and or bypass on the main line. So I thought that was a cool little $38. Right, $38. I purchased this about 3 weeks ago. $38. So I also ordered 11-inch radius short ones so I can come off square at the end there, and then I'll just run my 2 tracks and down and around. Now at the same time, this line here and this line here will meet down at that crossing I just showed you, and they'll have 4 lines coming out of there. So I'll have 2 main lines, one's both separate from each other, and then the one line going into the fiddle yard. Now, if you've never heard the terminology fiddle yard, I've been watching a lot of YouTube from England, and we call it spur line, I guess, or rolling stock yard. They call it a fiddle yard. So you go in there and you fiddle around with the cars to set them up so you can pick them up and pull them out of the yard. So I kind of like that, fiddle yard. Yeah, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Now these screws here, oops, these screws here could be moved. Okay? They can be moved forward. What does that do? It electrifies the entire splitter. So if you're going DCC, you can move those screws from the bottom to the top, and that'll electrify this entire section. If you were going DCC, that's what I understand. So now one day I'll get around to it one day, and I just got to watch how many locomotives I buy from now until I decide to go DCC, because I think it's a really great idea to be able to run more than one train at the same time on the same line, type of thing. Yeah, so that's the update. That's what I got for you today. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, or at least like. I'd really appreciate it to know if there's anybody really paying attention to what I'm doing here and have any interest. It doesn't take me very long to cut a video. I try to keep them 20 minutes or less, and I think I'm doing that. All right, guys. This is Dan with Dano's Trains. Have a good day, and thank you very much for watching.